Hey, good morning everyone. It's Gary here. Excuse me, I had to adjust my seat. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant today. Of course, you see me do that in the past, but I got a legitimate rant. You've heard me talk about this kind of stuff in past episodes. You heard me talk about it in my episode of NFL. And I just want to touch on some points that I've observed. I'm a big football fan. A fair weather fan at that point. I'm going to say that right now. And I like to watch football on TV. I really enjoy it. That's something I live for, watching professional football. Ice hockey and football, those are my sports. Oh yeah, and the WNBA. I like to watch women's basketball. But before I can get on that topic, these are some observations I've made that I feel are warranted for an episode. I'm going to break it down pretty simply because I was looking at it last night watching the Bengal game. And this is the first time I've noticed it this year, and all years. It's the first time I've noticed it. So before the game starts, you have talking heads. You got the network. The television network will show a panel of these clowns. I like to call them clowns because all they are is former football stars and former football coaches. And there's a panel of them. They're all in their suits and ties or their pullover sweatshirts and their fancy shoes and their hair just done a certain way with a backdrop of all the teams that are playing that given night. You know what I'm talking about. The NFL, ESPN, or whatever channel's promoting the football game of that day. And there's like 6 or 7 guys, maybe just 4 guys, a panel of all these guys. And if you notice, they all hold a pen in their hand. Watch them next time. They got a pen down at waist level that they're playing with the pen. Why? What are they gonna? But they gotta have their hands somewhere, right? And they're slapping each other on the back. Hey, oh yeah, hey, whoa, hey, yeah. And they're telling you, and they're analysts. They're analysts for a particular game. And they're shooting their talking points out. Well, I'm going to use an example. Last night's game, where the Bengals beat the Steelers. You got one guy saying, well, the Steelers are favored by 5.5. And the other guy goes, yeah, but the Bengals have a chance. But puke, 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 and puke, puke, puke some more. And analysts, talking heads, eating up clock before the game starts. And the network's going to do this. The network's going to say, well, let's start viewing this a half an hour before the game and get all these analysts out there with their pens in their hands and the backdrop of the set and have these analysts and these professional wannabes and has-beens puke some more bullshit to the collective viewers. We don't want to see that shit. I'm old school. You're talking to a guy like me, Gary here, that I'm old school. All I want to do is if the game starts at 8:15, go right to the game, show the kickoff, and play the game. But no. People are making how much? What are they doing? They're making money. It's all about money. The bottom line, money. And if you live long enough, it all comes down to money. Every sport that you see in the world, it all revolves around money. All businesses, companies, global. It's not about taking care of your fellow man. I know I'm sidetracking from football, but I want to make a point, and this is going to be about 30 minutes. Maybe not 30 minutes. It's all about money. We'll just take a regular company. Let's just take a regular company, a downtown metropolitan area. And they got a staff of maybe 100 employees. And I don't know what they're selling. Let's just say they're selling utensils. Kitchen utensils. Just, a no-name company. And you got the president up here making, let's say, $1.5 million a year. And then he's got a vice president that's making $500,000 a year. And they make more money on bonuses and sales. Sales. That's where they're making their money, on their fucking sales, their bottom line. And so sitting around one day in a board meeting, there's like the president and He has a vice president, and then they have all the senior sales executives, and they're in this boardroom, and they're saying, how can we make more money? Well, this one guy goes, well, Mr. President, I tell you what we could do. We can cut out this whole division here, which has 13 employees, 13 hardworking employees. But if we cut that division out and put that work from that division on this division and make their jobs harder, give them more to do, but they have plenty of time because they aren't busy enough, we can cut those jobs. And they go, hey, that's a great idea. Yeah. And the president's going, well, then they cut those jobs. I can have that built-in pool. I can send my children to a better college. I can afford my wife better things. We could join that country club. Well, hell yeah. It's a great idea. Cut their hours. Cut their jobs. Fuck them. They're basically saying fuck you. They're basically saying fuck them. Fuck you. So what happens then? The trickle-down effect. You cut those 13 jobs. Those people have lives. They have responsibilities. They have school loans for children. They have a mortgage on their house. They got a car payment on their... See where it's going? See where I'm going? You're cutting their livelihood out because you want to make more money. And this goes on. This goes on in America. I don't know about globally, but I know it goes on in America. I've seen it firsthand. Not with just the company I used to work for, but I've seen it. And I hear stories from other companies over the years. You hear stories of this guy got laid off or this guy got laid off. You know? Companies that folded because of COVID. All those companies that just folded because of COVID. But that's another story. I don't want to go into COVID. We could save that for another episode. But let's go back to football. Because that's where we started. The talking heads. These guys are making a shitload of money running their mouth. I don't even want to know how. I don't want to know. I don't want to know how much money these guys make. And then so what the point I want to make is, so these talking heads, they start running their mouth. They're running their mouth. Blah, blah, blah. Puke, and puke some more. With their pen in their hand. Watch next time, they got a pen in their hand. And then they sidestep, it's getting closer to game time. So then they show these two guys, it's always two guys that are going to be the announcers for the game. You know, and they had this guy last night, Al Michaels and someone else. I don't know who the other guy was for this Thursday night game. And they show them, and they're in their booth. They're in their announcement booth. And they're running their mouth. Blah, 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 puke some more, and blah, 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 and puke some more. Just doing what the analysts were doing a half an hour previous to these guys. Well, last night I noticed for the first time this year, they do a split screen. So the commercial went off on a commercial, and then the commercial finished and came back, and now they have the two boobs in the announcer booth. They're puking, and then the screen splits, and the actual game is going on. It's beginning. But these analysts have the bigger part of the screen. Did everyone see that last night? I saw it. They're puking. They're still puking. Blah, blah, blah. Why? Because these guys are making a shitload of money. These announcers are making money. It's what? What's that? What's that? It's about the fucking money. The general public, they don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. And if I'm sitting here this morning ranting about it, you sure as shit don't want to see it. But we don't have control over it. Why? Why? Because it's about the fucking money. Now, let's just take away the fact that these players are making an assload of money. I'm not going to even go into that. Well, the owners are making a lot of money. The network is making a lot of money. And so out of curiosity last night, I went to a commercial break. I put it on mute because I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear commercials. I don't want to hear about dog food. I Googled it. I went on my phone. I Googled. I said, what's the average 30-second or 1-minute commercial cost? That company that wants the commercial. 30-second commercial, $550,000. The network, they pay the network to view that, to have the advertisement. $550,000 for 30 seconds? Can't tell me it's not about the money. So, well, that we split screen it and still talk about that fucking commercial. And the football game is going on over here in this corner of the screen. Well, we got to hurry up and finish that commercial, and then they go to the game. I think eventually it's going to be split screens all the time. They're doing it in horse racing. I've seen it in horse racing. I figured, okay, well, that's just the horse racing. They got one track here, and then they had to split screen to another track here, and now the viewer who's watching it on a TV set, they have to sit there and watch this fucking race that they have no interest in. But the money they bet on this race, it's a smaller screen, and you're kind of looking at it like, I can't see that race. You see where I'm going with this? A lot of times, and I'm just going to speak my personal experience, a lot of times anymore, when I'm watching a game on TV, I watch it on mute. Because I grab my fucking remote and I hit mute. Because I'm so tired of listening to these announcers. Just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. When they snap the ball and they play the game, shut up. I don't want to hear the play-by-play from your ass. Watch the game. Let the play out. I want to hear the fans going crazy. I want to see the fucking antics on the team celebrating. I don't want to hear you running your mouth. Shut up already. Excuse me. I can't be the only person in America that gets tired of listening to people run their mouth. I haven't heard it yet this year because I don't stay up late enough for Sunday Night Football, but Chris Collinsworth, he won't shut the fuck up. That guy irritates the hell out of me. And I have found on social media, there's a whole contingent of people out there that can't stand Chris Collinsworth. He was the wide receiver for the Bengals back in the 80s. I mean, if you listen to Chris Collinsworth talk, he just got that whiny voice. Shut up. No one wants to hear you talk. Let the play unfold. Jesus H. Christ on a popsicle stick. Are you serious? So, that's just one personality I can't stand listening to. But these other guys, Al Michaels, shut up, Al. Shut your geriatric ass up. I want to watch the game. I don't want to hear the announcers call play-by-play. From the snap of the ball to the time he catches the ball into the end zone, they're running their mouth. And maybe they're getting paid by the network. Somebody somewhere up high has to say, hey, we gotta start stifling these guys. Because the people, the viewers, they got to get collectively. Thank God for the mute button on my TV set. Thank God for that mute button on that remote. The people that developed these TV sets continue to have a mute button on there because that's the last frontier right there for me to be able to hit that mute button so I don't have to listen to these guys puking all night. Puke, and puke some more. Shut up! Christ almighty. And then the guys, so it's all about money. We've established that. I'm making my point very clear today, by the way. So I'm fed up. I'm fed up with the bullshit. I want to sit there in front of in my comfortable couch with my 55-inch small TV, considering most people today have, my buddy of mine has a 70-inch. So 70-inch? How big is big? How much TV space you need? I got a Samsung 55-inch. I love my TV. I want to watch the game. I don't want to hear someone puking. I don't want to see an analyst with a pen in his hand. Watch for the pen. Watch for it, guys. They do it. You're going to watch now that I've said it. They have to have something in their hand because they got to do something with their fucking hands. These analysts, these talking heads puking for you. Puke. So let's go back to the companies in America that are cutting people's jobs. Here they go on. How can we make more money? Whether it be a grocery store, whether it be a clothing store, a hardware store, people sell boats, people that sell goods and services, big companies, cutting jobs. You see people walking out of the building with these boxes with all their stuff in it because they got laid off. Their job got cut. Oh, you got kids in college, Joe? Sorry, you're fired. We don't need your jobs anymore. We're going to give it to this company. We're going to give it to this. We're going to outsource this company in India. and they're going to do your job for a lot less money. So you and 65 other employees are going to be gone. Well, what you got car payments and mortgages? Yeah, sucks to be you. Sucks to be you. Sorry. It wasn't my decision. I feel really bad about it. Yeah, say hi to the wife for me. Yeah, I'm real sorry. Yeah, let's catch up and have coffee. Yeah, let's catch up and have coffee. I'm a cancer survivor. I'm just going to throw that out there. I had Hodgkin's disease when I was 24 years old. I went through a year of chemo. I'm just going to say that. And there's a reason why I'm saying this. Of course, I've been in clinical remission for 50-something years, right? I'm fine. Look at me. I'm still running my mouth. I'm a freak show. But here's the thing. Until someone's faced with a life-threatening illness that money can't take care of, then you're faced with some serious shit. It doesn't matter how much money you make. See what I'm saying? Because there's people listening to this program, or someday they will listen to this program after I'm long dead and gone. This program will live on forever on YouTube. They'll say, hey, you know, my mother had a life-threatening illness. It ended up, she died. We funneled all this money into the hospitals and the doctors to more and more drugs and more treatments and more. And we went almost broke trying to save my mother's life. And 2 years later, she's dead. Until you're faced with a serious life-threatening illness, all the tea in China and all the money you're making from the networks and all people's jobs you cut so you can have that built-in pool or that car or that house in Florida or that country club membership doesn't mean shit if you're dying. And all the money you're going to make over a course of a lifetime and all the people's jobs you're going to cut and all the lives you're going to ruin because of the jobs you cut. You'll be the richest person in the graveyard because we're all going to be buried in the same size box. You know what? We're going to be all the same size plot in the fucking cemetery. Oh, but because he was the pinnacle of our community and he had a big job in downtown blah-blah-blah metropolitan area. Oh, yeah. We're going to give him a gravestone that's like 30 feet tall. Oh, boy. We're all going to mourn his death. Oh, it's going to be so sorrow. It'll be sorrow. We'll be crying. He was a pinnacle of his community. They don't talk about all the jobs that cocksucker cut and all the jobs and all the lives that were changed and shaped differently because the pinnacle of his community cut and sacrificed people's jobs. See where I'm going here? The dog eat dogness. And it's not going to change. My running my mouth today is not going to change any of it. I'm just stating a fact. I know I went off on a tangent a minute ago. But until you've been faced with a life-threatening illness, all the tea in China, all the money you're making, and all the jobs you're cutting. I know, Gary, we're being redundant. Doesn't matter. None of it matters. Nothing matters. Doesn't mean shit. You'd be all in the same plot. In the end of the days, we're all going to be buried in the same cemetery. Or cremated, our ashes sprinkled in the same cup. And then we'll have, oh, that's my grandfather. He was the pinnacle of his community. Yeah, his ashes are on top of the mantle. Don't touch that fucking urn. People's priorities are all fucked up, you know. That's the bottom line in this episode. People's priorities are all ass backwards. At the end of the day, we should take care of our fellow human being. Be nice to others, courteous to others, because you don't know what they're going through. I had a manager in my store one time say to me, Gary, I commented to him, I said, man, you're such a nice store manager. How do you remain so positive every day? This is a true story. Guy was a really nice guy. Super nice guy. Super nice guy. If somebody asked where something was, he would say, hey, let me stop what I'm doing. I'll walk you to it. First time I saw that, I was in my 30s. He stopped what he was doing. He was the manager of the grocery store I was in. He stopped what he was doing And he walked this lady to an aisle and took her right to the product. Here you go, ma'am. You were looking for these polar waters? Here you go. Have a nice day. Thank you for shopping with us today. And I remember saying to him, he's now deceased. He's been gone a while now. Great guy. I said to him that day, I said, you've made an impression upon me today. I've noticed something and I'm going to implement it. I'm going to do what you do. And I told him what I saw and how I observed it. And he goes, Gary, at the end of the day, we got to become realists. What it's all about. We're in the grocery industry. And at the end of the day, you got to treat people the way you want to be treated. The golden rule, And this was a store manager who was in charge of 300 something people. He had things he had to do. He had expectations that had to be met. He had bottom lines that had to be met. But he never forgot about the little guy, the customer. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Because at the end of the day, Gary, it's all about the customer satisfaction. Customer first. And I wish more people in America would think like that. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. I don't know enough. All I know is what I'm thinking today and talking about. The split screen. God forbid that this commercial is more important than the game we're watching on TV. How much money is enough money? I said this in my NFL episode. How much money is enough money? Well, we're all going to be buried in the same plot. You're going to be the richest man in the cemetery. Who fucking cares? Maybe the people that you cut, the jobs you cut, they'll go to your funeral so they can urinate on your gravestone. Whiz all over it. Thanks a lot. Changed my life forever. So you can make more money. See where I'm going with this? All right, I'm going to get off my soapbox. Hold on, let me climb off this thing. Ugh. God damn, I got to get a smaller soapbox. I about broke my knee getting off of that thing. I'm done talking. Just want to throw that out there. Maybe everyone will start thinking more about it. And they'll be using their mutes on their TVs, remotes, because they're tired of listening to all the puking going on. And we're not going to be able to. I'm not going to be able to change this here. I'm just ranting. I'm not going to be able to change the world today. I never will. But if I don't say it, if I don't express it, then people watching won't be able to think about it. Think about it. What's it all about? Can't tell me it's not all about money. It can't be all about money. But life-threatening illness, money. Life-threatening illness, money. Take that to the bank. All right, anyways, I'm going to jump off here. I got to get my day going. I got to go see my dad. Hang out with him in the memory care facility he's in. I don't know how much longer he's going to be alive, but I'm going to go spend some time with him and hang out with him because family's first. Family's got to come first. All right, you guys all have a great weekend, and be safe out there. Take care of yourselves and each other. Peace out.